It's Saturday, the day that we're doing this, and it's live. If you're joining us right now, this is really happening. Why, if this wasn't live, Melissa would have known that this was going to happen.
Hi, everyone.
That's right. Nothing is pre-planned. I am going to be doing, I was grabbing a coaster because Melissa brought me a water. The sweetheart that she is, because she knows that my voice is probably going to start cracking soon. That means you get old when your voice even starts to show cracks and hairline fractures. Ooh.
I read something today. Somebody had posted saying, you know that you've gotten old when you turn down the radio in your car so you can see better. That's true. I do that.
Do you?
Yeah, when I want to concentrate, I'm like, no radio. We need to concentrate.
Mind you, it's been kind of white-knuckled, cold, icy weather out there.
Yeah, we have a whole different... it's just an ice rink. It's just ice.
Bill is on, who is married to your second cousin, who is in the store today. It's funny, we had a couple, Ashley and Bill, come in from Balf, who are on the live chat, or live feed right now. They watch our YouTube channel. And they saw a video where we were talking about Melissa's dad, and then they realized that they had worked with Melissa's sister at one point. Anyway, long story short, one of our subscribers ends up being kind of a second cousin to Melissa. So, hello. And yeah, you never know who's watching right now that might be in that DNA family tree. You never know.
Well, that side is, my dad was adopted, so I have a lot of kind of adopted family, and now I'm learning...
Mystery family.
Yeah. And now I'm also finding some blood relatives off of his side, which is exciting.
Yes. So here we are today. In moments, in a little short amount of time, we're going to be opening up a box that came to the shop today. It said it had a happy birthday message on it for me. My birthday was last week. And one of you out there, many of you were very nice. We get cards on occasion and lovely messages.
Just one.
Yes.
No, you had lots of birthday messages.
We get there are many lovely folks out there, and I do appreciate it. We don't always have time to show our thanks on videos, but we had a couple fun things. One, do you want to show them your bowls?
Oh, sure. Oh, I don't know.
I wrote them and thanked them for sending them, so we're good.
The other, but I don't know who their names are for that one.
Yes, I've sent the email back to those folks, but we are here, and Melissa is just grabbing something from over in the kitchen. And she's running away now over by the piano.
I'm just doing stuff.
She's grabbing a card. But we actually had a couple folks send bowls, so I thanked them individually, but we'll just show the set.
This one?
Yeah, well, the whole set.
One of them's mine.
Yeah, Melissa's doing stuff over there.
Well, now you guys know what it was, because he said, doot, 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 doot. It only looks like one. Now, I am completely shocked. A box shows up with bowls in it.
This is how nice folks are out there in TV land.
I almost, like, just shipping is too much. Like, that was over the top.
It was very nice.
Yeah.
And so this is the set. Started off, we got this one from Betty Jones.
Yep.
And Betty Joan had one of these other smaller ones, but
she had two other ones, but they were really like all the paint was
oh yeah, she had the whole
outside.
set, but they were in bad condition.
Yeah.
So we kept back the nice one, and Melissa always said it's a nice set. We wouldn't mind having the other pieces, and so now we have. I think the only one you're missing now is just the tiny little white one.
Yeah, I think there's a tiny white one. Oh,
but
sorry.
yeah, we've got almost the whole set now, and those will be going over to our new home. And proud to use it. And I think you use those bowls when you're doing the HelloFresh videos too sometimes.
Yeah, I do. It is, they're fun bowls to use. Plus they have little pourers on them. It's great. If you guys have any sitting around, those are great to use. I don't mean send them, I mean use them. They're fantastic. Really
yeah, there is normally a fourth one. That's the only one we need now is the small little white one, but we're getting so close to filling the gap on that. Don't know how your holiday season is shaping up so far, but what percentage would you say are we done with our Christmas shopping? 35%?
Like all together, I think, I hate to tell you this, but it's like 8%.
We have a lot of work to do. We're going to have to do that tomorrow.
We have a lot of people that I have my book club, my preschool, our friends, our kids' friends, our kids, our many relatives.
Yeah, Deb says don't put those bowls in the dishwasher. We don't.
Yeah,
we wash them by hand.
I don't trust that they're not going to get wrecked.
Yeah. Let's see. Do you have any stuff that was haunted? I don't know. Maybe that's what somebody sent me in this box. Maybe they're offloading it to us because it's all haunted. Happy birthday! Casper the ghost comes flying out. I guess we'll know. Yeah, don't send me your haunted stuff. Pretty sure there's an evil spirit attached to this. There you go. Oh, cool.
My earrings are little Santa hats. Me and Abigail, we were at Michael's and had to have some Christmas earrings.
Nitrous Diecast is on. Kathy Cash is on. Hello, nice to see so many familiar faces on right now, and to everybody who's with us right now. I said to Dave, because we are gonna get a pallet full of Hot Wheels in. I'll have to, Dave, you'll have to PM me with your cell phone numbers. I don't think I have it. But I think if Dave's got the time, wouldn't that be fun for us to go through a pallet of Hot Wheels together?
Do you think that he'd want to go on camera?
Yeah,
no
probably.
Pressure.
I think he would. But who
better? Wait, I think we've had you on before.
Yeah, we have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Diecast Dave has been on before, once before, I think. He was hanging out in the store, I think, when we were eating the 30-year-old chiclets.
Oh yeah, maybe.
I think that's when we had him on. My niece's YouTube is Alyssa Hallisay. Maybe Melissa or Matthew Fox can put
I don't know. Did you
Alyssa's YouTube channel up in the link.
I'm on it. I want to make sure I spell it properly.
Good evening from Glasgow, Scotland. Nitrous Diecast says, I would definitely do an unboxing. Okay. Well, here we go. Without further ado, I'm just going to actually, here we go. This will be the behind the scenes. This is the box that came. And so I opened it up. I didn't go through it yet. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't like a human head inside, and there wasn't. Dear Alexander, happy birthday! Enclosed are some things that we thought you would enjoy. Best wishes from Allison Pilcher in Wetumpka, Alabama. So thank you so much for that, Allison. And thank you to all of you out there who think of us and send us such lovely things. So let's do a little unboxing. For starters, look at all this extra packing material I have. What a bonus. All right, I know what this is. This is a black light. So we could turn our house into a nightclub.
But it came in the box, and I have no clue how that...
It didn't arrive broken.
It's completely fine.
But I know why she sent this, because on a video I had the uranium glass come in, and I said, I should probably get a black light so that I can see if the uranium glass glows or not. Well now, I mean, I guess I could have gone out and bought one, but she must have had one just kicking around, so there we go. Let's see. I also do get blacklight posters at the store on occasion too. Oh, let's see. There is a Norseman lager can. I wonder if UK brewed. It's what an interesting combination. It's Scottish with a Viking theme, and it's probably an older can. Somebody opened it up from the bottom probably because they thought it was cool. So we've got a Norseman lager can. Have a couple hats. That actually would have been like a Canadian beanie for a kid, I would think. It's got the old Canadian flag and the British flag on there. This came from Wetumpka, so it's kind of interesting that there's some stuff in here. Rusty Van, Charles Howard, this hat's been passed around. Oh, you know what? It's signed by probably all his classmates. It's a beanie. Like Jughead. This is like the sort of thing that Jughead would have worn in Archie comics, except his had little crown-looking things. But look, it's all signed by their classmates. Lurleen Van, 1938. Looks like, let's see, 1937, Dick Lewis. That'd be really cool if there was like somebody famous in here, like Betty White. Let's see. Kearney. Oh, there's some great names in here. Richard Hudson, 39. So over a period of a couple of years, somebody had their classmates sign their beanie. That's really neat. There is a... what's interesting about this is a hubcap, or yeah, it's a hubcap off of a car, but it's called a Lloyd Alexander. This car is like a micro car, kind of an unusual thing, and it shares my name. So that's kind of neat. Actually, one of my friends, when I first met him back when I was a child, he had a Lloyd Alexander on his driveway. People who like the orphan sort of cars. Let's see, what do we have here? I feel like there's something wrapped up in this, like a tea cozy of some kind. There's a pickle jar, because you never know when you need to have a pickle jar. Let's go through. Oh, Route 66 map in Vancouver, Victoria. Somebody was planning a trip to Canada, and Calgary, Alberta, Canada is in my area. This is only a few hours from me, so this made its way from Wetumpka. Oh no, terrible things have happened to the man that owned this before, because every time I watch a movie and they're visiting the morgue, there's a John Doe in there. So we know what happened to John Doe who owned this map before. I asked about not getting haunted items, and look what I've been sent. I've been sent John Doe's map. Let's keep going. Oh, there we go. Oh, she says it's a Pickle Rick jar.
There was a head in the box.
There is a head, a human head. This looks like a Boston figure. Made in England. Yeah, this is probably a Boston's figure. I had a whole pile of these we found in Betty Jones' house. What's he looking at?
Oh, this.
I like that they give them such expressive sort of looks on their faces. Let's see, maybe Cold Lake Curling Club. There's a lot of Alberta stuff in here, actually. I wonder if Allison must have been from our area at some point. Ryan says, what's your watch today? It is a Japanese market Omega Speedmaster from the 1990s. Automatic chronograph. That's what I'm wearing today. Why, featured on my wrist today is a white dial Omega Speedmaster. Melissa, maybe do you want to unwrap that one while I'm... Okay. I do have a tripod with me, but a lot of people ask, why don't you just use the tripod all the time? The problem is I can't move it around to be the cameraman and to be the... Oh, look, there's more road maps, too. Oh, nice old curling sweater. Here, I'll hold it back a little bit. Can't tell from the tag, but this would date to probably the 1950s or so, 50s or 60s. And I think this was the patch that came out of it. So Cold Lake Curling Club with its patch, but the patch is not on it. That's the same type of sweater you use as like a school sweater, or, you know, kind of neat. What do we have here? Oh, here's something to keep you busy. If your name is Ryan, oh man, you have to build it exactly like that. You can't put your own name on there. You got to put Ryan's name on it. Well, if we run into somebody named Ryan, I'm kidding. My mom used to doing cross stitch. I bet my mom would actually still like doing it. You know what I should do? My mom's probably gonna watch this now.
She's probably watching it this second.
Maybe she'll say, I don't know anybody named Ryan. Or Ryan Bitzer says, me, Ryan, I guess I'm getting Santa is gonna fill your stocking at my house this year. So let's hope that you were good so it's not a lump of coal.
Do automatic wristwatches need more maintenance?
No, automatic wristwatches are pretty darn good.
Yeah, mine started after like how long sitting in the drawer.
A Canada plate. And it shows all the flowers of our provinces, the provincial flowers. And where we are in Alberta, we have the Wild Rose. We are Wild Rose, which sounds like the name of a biker chick. Don't go hanging out with Wild Rose, Pete. I'm going to do what I want to do. These are all great names for, you know, untoward women, I think. Prairie Lily, White Lily, Purple Violet. I think that, most of these names could be female gang member names, I think.
Oh, wow.
I wouldn't want Dogwood, though. I don't care who you are. I don't think you'd want the nickname of Dogwood. But Wild Rose doesn't sound so bad, or Prairie Lily.
The butter mold that you found in the box, did it end up going to auction, or did you hold on to it at the shop?
I think it went to auction. Let's see. Wallace and Gromit, A Close Shave. That was a great movie. And I think that's the original release of that, too. VHS tapes aren't worth a whole lot, but that is a great... I used to love Wallace and Gromit when I was a younger version of myself. I still enjoy Wallace and Gromit now. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's a Royal Canadian Air Cadets patch. I think some of this stuff may have come... oh look, New Club Cafe, Nanton, British Columbia. Those are, you know, what do you have? I'll have a steak, I'll have French fries, I'll have some meatloaf.
Oh, that's a lot of meat.
I'll have a pie. Only one pie? You're right. I'll get a lemon meringue and I'll get an apple pie. And then your total would have been like 52 cents back in the old days. More road maps, which is cool. Again, bum bum bum, bum 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 bum. John Doe. James Taylor record. Oh, James F. Taylor. That's not the James Taylor. You go to a James Taylor concert and you're expecting you know, sweet dreams and flying machines and so forth, and you're getting a country singer. Well, there you go. Ricky Nelson. Another little Canada plate, the coat of arms, a couple Canadian plates. This box just has a little bit of everything in it. 630 Ched sticker, which is still a radio station here, but now it's news radio. It used to be a rock station. We had friends that were there on air. Let's see. More, oh, there's a whole bag of patches. There's a whole bag of stuff.
This box is full.
It is full. Look, that looks, is it just me or is that Van Gogh? No, he's got both his ears. Maybe this is Van Gogh before he met his Lady of the Night friend. Before he met Wild Rose. Or Prairie Lily. Which is the one that caused him to... It was Dogwood. She's the one I cut my ear for. But to me, that looks like a little Van Gogh figure. Anyway, we're going to put him with his... over here on the plate. I see some Little People stuff. And I see a Snoopy with his goggles on. Isn't that ever cute? I've had some of these before, actually. That is from the 1960s. Some patches. This is just kind of a variety. 1953. Some St. Andrews College summer course. Lots of patches are kind of fun. People like to still put those on their jackets. There's a penguin. I don't think the penguin has any... I don't think the penguin's got any... any movements. On the old ones from the 80s, you could squeeze their legs and like their arm would go up and down. See, maybe that's where my biases come in, where you think that as soon as you wear a top hat, the first thing that comes out of your mouth is like a weird gasp like the penguin. I'd like to buy this car. See, like in 1930s gangsters, they just release gas out of their mouth when they talk. He's got something to give though. Look at that belly. He's on a bit of a penguin. You've got to cut back on the carbs. This is what happens. You end up with a bit of a wheat belly. What you talking about? I'm going to put that away before this turns into just a half hour of me playing with toys. And I think that's it. I think it gets down to packing materials in here. Oh, wait. There's a teacup. There, there's a cup and saucer. How did this stuff not get broken?
I don't know.
It made it in the mail and it didn't get broken. Well, that was very nice, Allison. Thank you so much for the lovely assortment of stuff. And there's all sorts of great stuff that we can use here. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to flip that back around. This is where I have to act like I just wasn't saying stupid things for the last 10 minutes. It's easier when you don't look at your own face on camera. You're like, I didn't say that. I didn't. I love that John Mulaney joke where he says it was way easier to get away with crimes in the old days, that they were proud of it. Like they'd be a gangster and he'd like take a machine gun and tell them Sammy Slug sent you, and they'd like machine gun it in the wall. Yeah, good times. The penguin needs, this is one fellow that would be a great candidate for a keto situation right there. That penguin is just eating too much bread. See, what do you feed birds at the park? Sometimes people feed them breadcrumbs. He's a bird man, right? He's a penguin. He's been eating too many breadcrumbs. Too many carbs in his diet. Anyway, so thank you so much to Allison for sending the fun stuff. It was a great joy to go through. So now
Allison said that there's a stand for the cup and saucer. Is Allison on here?
Oh, she might be. Allison,
so
thank you. I bet you weren't expecting to be on our live feed when we went through the box of stuff.
We just got it today. And
yeah, it just came to the store.
We opened it up and he's like, wait, let's open it. We were planning on having camera. Yeah, we were planning on doing a live.
I will dig through the box a little bit more, but thank you so much. Fern says, I would ask Penguin where a good restaurant was. Yeah, that's
true.
Whenever you run into a super villain with a belly like that, he definitely knows where the food is at, for sure. He'd be the one ordering that 1940s restaurant, the 2 pies and the... But yeah, you look back at pictures of people in the old days and they ate big meals, but they weren't really heavy. I think it's because of how much manual labor. Like, if you had to wash your clothes, you got like a stick and a barrel of some soap and you're like, you want ice cream? Sure. Here's some milk with some ice in it, and it's going to take you 45 minutes of like doing this, and you're going to get some ice cream at the end of it. That's like you probably lost 10 pounds eating an ice cream cone back in the 20s.
Santa wants to know if you had found time to decorate the outside of your house this year. We do have a wreath, and you can see the lights through the window.
Where is our wreath? It's not up. Steven has the hook.
Oh yeah, right.
We got to get the hook from Steven. Steven took off with our wreath hook, and he was using it to hang his, I don't know, hang something on in his room. Then we got to take it back. It's just one of those ones that goes on your door, and then you can put her. But yeah, we'll have to get that. We forgot about it until now. Thank you for asking about our decorations there. I forgot one, but no, I didn't put lights up this year because it's kind of crazy to think in about less than a month we're gonna have to list our house for sale. In less than a month's time.
Yeah, there's panic starts when you realize that you need to get your house ready in a month.
Yeah, and it's
less than a month.
Well, not just that. There's the panic of knowing that our next house isn't even ready to live in yet. It's not like we can just start taking stuff over there. It's still
so nice and warm where we are.
Yeah, there's no.
Well, it's not but terrible right now. It's getting cold next week.
Well, there's still no heat at the new place or insulation.
Yeah. And those are two things we need for sure.
Those are things that come in handy. But yeah, it's there's a lot of stuff floating around in the air. The reason why we have to list, we're not expecting to move into the house until probably mid-April to end of April.
Yeah.
And a lot will happen between now and then. There's a lot that has to happen, but heat is a big one. They can't start doing much else until there's heat in that
place.
place.
I'm a big baby, so I need heat.
Yeah. I will get back on topic in a second. I did test out actually my friend and coworker now, Bill, German Bill, brought in a couple 8-tracks to test out on the player. He said that it is working, but he said that the connector for the DC plugin's a little bit loose, so you have to kind of wiggle it to make it go. But it does work, that red 8-track player. So maybe I'll have to ask Bill to keep his 8-track around so we can test it out on future. I don't plan on stocking a lot of 8-tracks, though. You know, like that's the first time I've been asked. We had a pallet of them that we sold at auction, and it went for like $7 for a pallet full of 8-tracks. I remember I got it from a lady who was a former race car driver. She needed help cleaning out her basement, and she happened to have a basement full of 8-tracks, and she just gave them to me, and I didn't need them. But there was actually some decent stuff in there. I should have spent more time on them, but I just had nowhere to put a pallet full of that stuff. So yes, the house and selling, and what we have to do basically is start getting our current home, this home, the one that we're sitting in right now, ready for resale. And there's not that much to do, really.
No, it's, thank goodness. But I look at like the little things that I would appreciate to be done, like maybe little scuffs that I'm noticing now. I want to make sure that the next owners, they don't have to deal with that. But, you know, they'll probably repaint anyways. But I just want it to be,
we did a fair bit a couple years ago.
I want it to be perfect for the next owners, because I want them to not have, you know, you walk into some places, you're like, oh, that's so much work. I don't want them to think that. I want them to be like, this is move-in ready.
No, but they'll probably pick their own colors for the walls
course.
And paint stuff. We just want it to look, that's the thing, you have to just, whenever you sell a house, you have to make it look like nobody really lives there.
Yeah, because it has to be their house, not ours.
Yeah, so personal pictures and all the stuff that make it kind of home. So we're going to have a couple months of it not really feeling like home. It'll be like we're living in a
it's
show
easier
home.
to move when it's like that too, because if it no longer feels like our home, then it's easier to leave because we'll be staying in somebody else's house.
That's true. And it is also nice to get rid of extra things that we don't need from around the house.
We have like, yesterday I got rid of like seriously a bag full of just pencil crayons, because every year the kids get new pencil crayons. Well, that's a lot of years of pencil crayons.
It's a lot of pencil crayons. We had
but it's like that with everything. So we're starting to just purge and get rid of all the excess, and it's so much easier to breathe when you do that. So,
but you don't get rid of pencil crayons like a normal person would. It's not like she just grabbed some handfuls and thinned it out. Melissa,
share this?
I have to tell you,
oh my God.
I am kind of if you haven't noticed, I'm sort of the impulsive, I think of like a crazy target and I just do whatever to try and get there. Melissa is very methodical and organized and kind of a perfectionist, I would say.
Which is always a good thing. That's very rarely a good thing.
But she likes things just so. So we decided, well, she decided she wanted to get rid of some of the pencil crayons. And how did you do it?
So we had this huge basket full of pencil crayons. So I spread them all out. And first, I sorted them all by color.
We're talking like 300 pencil crayons.
Yeah. Then I went through and I checked what type they were, like by color, like the little name on the pencil crayon. And then I made sure that I kept the best, 2 of every single color. I'm not even kidding. And I would like put them down and make sure it was the ones that didn't have a wiggly lead. It was too much time spent on pencil crayons, let's be honest.
Did the length matter?
Yes, of course it mattered. I mean, I'm not going to keep, Black is always one that we use tons of. So even if it was like a tiny little stub of a pencil crayon, all the blacks got to stay and all the whites and some of the shades of brown.
Yeah, because Steven does a lot of stuff in black and white.
Yeah, anything I know you're going to use a lot for shading and stuff, those all got to stay. But it all fits in a nice little pencil case now. Oh, so nice.
Yeah, so...
but it made me look a little crazy.
Thinning out pencil crayons ended up taking like an hour, probably. But they are very well.
And now we get to donate, like somebody can use those now, make art out of it. I mean, make art with it.
I'm going to answer a couple of questions I saw. One person said, how much land do you have in the new property? And that is 3¼ acres. So 3.25 acres is what we have for land. And we were out there today. We actually went out there today and we were looking at it and thinking, we always thought our backyard was an okay size here. Because, you know, it's big enough you can put a trampoline in or whatever. And
then we're used to it.
And we're used to it. And then you think, man, like our backyard would fit in this tiny little section of our current yard of the new place. It's weird. Like we feel like we bought a field, like a school field, and put a house in it or something. So we have trees and it's nice and all that stuff. So
I saw somebody asked if I donated them to the school. This was just yesterday. They're sitting in a big giant baggie at my door.
Yeah, they're waiting to go to their
They're
home.
waiting, yeah.
Yeah, but we've been donating quite a bit to charity in the last little bit. We've been getting stuff thinned out.
Our kids are in grade 7, 9, and 11.
Yeah, somebody said the house does look big. Yeah,
yeah.
It's a good sized house. It probably looks a little bit bigger from the front than it actually is because the bonus room above the garage stretches out a little bit over there. But it's above grade, which is at the above level, not counting the basement. It's 3,000 square feet. And I think that that's a good size home for us. We have 3 kids. We're gonna have grandkids. It's gonna be perfect for us.
I can't wait to see what grows out there. We're gonna do fruit trees, of course, a garden because I love having a garden, flower garden, every garden I could possibly have. We're gonna see what grows.
Neighbors didn't take down any more trees yet. I don't know how many they're going to take down, but they didn't take down any more yet. So it's not so bad right now. There's still lots of trees on that side, but we are getting a little bit more sun now that those trees are gone, and that's not such a bad thing either.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing I wanted to say is that on the last video I did about the house, one of you watching at home left a comment, and I do read the comments. I don't read them all, but I do read the comments on occasion and go through. One person said, it's a shame that you didn't plan for glass doors on the laundry room and closet. That way the light coming through the outside windows would shine through into the hallway and give you more light.
That was the hot tip of the evening.
So what we did is we took your suggestion, if you're watching right now, and we called our contractor and said, is it too late to change the type of doors that we're using on those 2 rooms? Or can we get an insert, like a frosted glass insert? So he said, yeah, no problem. It's really not any extra money either. So we are going to do that. And it was a great suggestion. So we do take your suggestions. And so somebody will, because of you, will now have frosted doors on those 2 windows.
And we'll have light.
MP says, hey guys, is the Career and Eyes book you got the other day gone already? It would match my 2021 wall calendar. It sold right away. Boy, somebody was really upset.
That's the same one.
Well, they called the store on a day I was closed, and somebody had emailed me and paid for it before I even got in to check my messages. And boy, they were sure upset.
I mean, it just depends. Like,
if
somebody gets the answering machine and you get the email first, I mean,
somebody reached me first and it sold. But yeah, it sold a while ago. But that's the problem when I do sell stuff in store. That's kind of why I prefer to sell. One of the reasons why I like to sell stuff at auctions too is that if somebody out there is watching and they're interested, and there's another person out there interested, well, whoever wants it more will bid whatever they want for it. And you don't have to worry about hurt feelings or things like that, because it's not my intention. My intention is just somebody calls.
And at the end of the day, it's a thing.
It is just a thing.
It's not something to be upset about.
No.
It's a thing.
But yes, so there we go. Robert said if you actually come geo mining.
We should, if we go to the States. Oh, now, Robert, I don't remember where you said. If you come geo mining, I'd even let Alex drive in my Corvette or ride.
Dry ride.
If you went geo mining, that would be pretty awesome.
One thing I would like to do one day is I'd like to go to one of those. Have you ever seen, they have like a field. Oh, Smile Always joined our YouTube family. We have this, anyway, thank you so much, Smile Always. We appreciate you joining up. when there are fields you can go to in certain parts of the United States, I'm sure other parts of the world, where you pay an admission and you're allowed to walk around and look for special rocks. You know, I would say like, you know, sometimes there's diamonds or rubies or emeralds and stuff like that. One person recently was out there, what was it, like a 2 or 3 carat diamond they found just like sitting there?
I don't think I even heard this story.
They went out to this place and it was like after a really heavy rainstorm, they found a giant diamond. And they get to keep it. They get to keep the darn thing.
Oh, so, yeah, right. That was a while ago.
But we thought that'd be really fun to go and do that.
Out of curiosity, no pun intended, why do you say phoned instead of called?
That's just, I think, how we say things.
I think we say both.
Yeah. Just like, Storage Auction Pirate joined up as well. Thank you so much. We're getting those green banners I'm seeing there. Vinyl Earthlink. Oh, Ryan Bitzer says, how many subscribers do you think you gained from the Potter's House? About 100,000 subscribers, I'd say, from the Potter's House, and then another 100,000 or so from the Musician's House. Yeah. Because we were at about 200 and some odd thousand, 220,000 prior to that, and then it jumped up to 3, and then just a little over 4.
It's in Illinois, we have geodes and fossils, and in Arkansas, is a diamond crater park where you can mine the diamonds.
That's where I want to go. I want to go. This lady was just walking along and she saw something glittering on the dirt. It was at the surface level and it was like a 3. Somebody can look it up and tell me. It was like a 2 or 3 carat diamond, like a big one. So that'd be really cool. So yeah, I think that'd be super fun.
So I don't forget.
Somebody says you're big cheese on YouTube. No, I'm cheesy on YouTube. I wouldn't say
now
big
you're
cheese.
A big cheese. Yeah. Now you're a big cheese on YouTube.
Yeah, les grands fromages avec YouTube. I don't think so. I am. You know, I don't even think about social media in that sense because I'm very aware, and I've said this before, I'm very glad that any sort of, and I wouldn't even call it fame, but notoriety in a sense where people kind of know who you are, came to me at a spot in my life when it's not really important to me. Like, it is nice, I really enjoy putting videos out and I love that, but it's not what's aiming my life or my ambition. My goals are as simple as I'm sure as anybody's out there. To put a roof over my family's head, you know, and then to try and see what we're capable of doing, to do well, and man, you know, just trying to have fun with life. So very, very simple, and I don't know. I'm grateful for everybody out there and for everybody on here too.
4.38 carat yellow diamond.
Oh, there you go. A 4 carat yellow diamond. That's a lot of rocks. That's a big rock.
So the difference between joining and subscribing. Joining, you're still obviously part of the YouTube family. If you subscribe, there's just like extra perks, right?
There's meant to be, yes. It's kind of like Patreon in a sense where if somebody just, I guess, supports what we do and supports our channel.
It gives people an opportunity to do that. And also, it's...
yeah, there's ways that they can connect with us. Yeah. That they can contact us more directly. And
we're kind of new to it as well.
We are new to it,
It's a new thing on YouTube, so we have to try to...
But essentially, it's just a way of people who really enjoy the channel to say, hey, we really like the content and we're supporting you, I guess. But appreciate it either way.
Yeah.
Let's see. Many thrifters are kind of cheap, somebody said. Pipinchnik says, Merry Christmas to your whole family. Melissa, I love you and all your kids, Alex included, LOL.
Thank you so much.
I feel like that one was directed at you. Mm-hmm. Alexander Lucius joined up as well. Thank you. One Cute Bird says, do you ever get tired of being in the public eye? Yeah, sometimes. I think that there's moments, I mean, I'm never ungrateful for when somebody runs into me out in the wild. You know, like I was coming out of the bank the other day and somebody, maybe they're watching right now, says, hey, you're that YouTube guy. And I went, yep, I am. And I said, you seen some of our videos? He said, I watch them all. So maybe they are watching this one. And he's like, how's the house going? So it's kind of like you have this community of people who are just really nice and supportive. And for that, it's good. But there are also moments in your life when you are just trying to focus on doing your thing. And you know, you're working on doing your thing and you're building your house and people have a lot of opinions on how you should have done this or should have done that. But at the end of the day, we're trying to make the best decisions we can with what we got. And, you know, so far it's worked out okay for us.
Generally, it's just like for the public eye and everything. That's mainly when we're at the store, or it's kind of like as soon as the camera turns off, we're back to our normal lives, really. Except for you go for your pics. I mean, the pics and stuff and film. and do the videos, but.
Oh, Papichnik said they're the ones that sent me the shirt folder. I'm not very good. I have to practice more at it. I need to.
That's funny. I almost bought one off of Amazon, so I'm glad you said that because I know how to use it. You can get me to do it.
Somebody said Alex doesn't sign autographs. That's not true. Every time I go to somebody's house and I write them a check, I have to sign my name on that check for them.
Do you actually not sign autographs?
No, I never said I don't sign. Why? I'm not famous enough to sign autographs.
See. I mean, but if somebody said, "Can you sign whatever?" Like.
Oh, I guess, yeah. If somebody said, would you sign this for me? Of course I would. But it's just like...
It would be weird.
Well, right now it would feel weird because I'm not actually a famous person. I'm just some guy.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be like if you go up to somebody at the grocery store and you're like, hey, I don't know who you are. Can you sign this?
I think we should do that.
Maybe I should start wearing Elton John sunglasses. Listen, if I have to start signing stuff for people, like if they ask for autographs, I will have to start just getting those really big sunglasses. Like when Will Ferrell does like impersonations of people and he's got like the giant sunglasses. He does like a baseball announcer and it just cracks me up every time. I can't remember the name of the baseball announcer that he mimics. But it's super funny. He wears these giant glasses. That's right. I'm wearing ladies' sunglasses.
They said 8x10 glossy. I can't imagine you doing that.
No. It would be like when George Costanza had like the shot of him in his boxers. You'd be like, that's not right. Anyway, wow, we strayed off topic here. That seems to always happen. Anyway, let's see. I binge watched the Potter's House series. Harry Carey, that's it. When Will Ferrell does his Harry Carey impersonation, it cracks me up. It's just funny. Harry Carey for the Cubs, yeah. Here comes the ball.
Did you?
He bobbles his head around and stuff.
Bridget said, "Is the Rolls-Royce car buyer's initials CL?"
No.
Will you add more trees? Yes, we will.
Listen, the person who bought the Rolls gave me permission to tell their story, but I want to make sure. I wrote them and I said, listen, I don't want to really talk about who you are because some people aren't going to be kind, and I don't want to be putting any negativity out there into the world, especially if somebody doesn't believe somebody else's beliefs or whatever. When I tell their story, or if I tell their story, it's going to raise a lot of eyebrows, I'm sure. And it's almost a fantastic in the I can't even think about how to say it without it sounding absolutely out of this world. So anyway, if that person who has given me verbal permission is okay, I wrote very clearly, I'm like, listen, if I say something about this.
Sometimes regardless of what people say, we know what the right thing to do is.
Yeah, I don't want to make them have any filter a lot of negativity from our channel through it, and you have to be grown up about it. And I don't know if you've noticed or not, but people on social media can sometimes be nasty. The keyboard warriors or whatever you want to call it, they forget that there's a human being on the other end who's just a person.
Sometimes they need it to be a human being because they just don't have an outlet to express their anger.
I am vehemently opposed to negativity on social media. Not in the sense of like when it comes to me, I don't like it, but I think when a person is just being hurtful, or when a person feels that they can say mean-spirited things to somebody that you don't know, I don't think that that's appropriate in any sense. No. But I think that there are some people out there that have constructive feedback, and I think that is always welcome. One thing I learned when I was managing retail stores, and when we were I coached a program for a department store that I used to manage. And I went all over Canada and I coached and taught other managers on certain behaviors. And one of those behaviors was that if you don't like something about somebody else's behaviors, you really do have to look back at yourself. And I'm going to give you an example of how that would work. If you have an employee that comes in late every single week, and you feel that they are a bad employee and you're their manager, then after the second or third time, it's not their fault anymore. It's your fault because you didn't hold them accountable, or you didn't take actions to talk to them about it or improve their behaviors. Many things that happen in our environments or our lives come from us and our actions. And so when somebody, even on Facebook or whatever, says something like, your house is not anything like I would build, or I think it's a waste, or whatever like that. Those are their opinions. It's right for us. Yeah. They need to look back at, if that's not right for us, then we wouldn't have done it. If it's not right for you, then don't do it.
But that doesn't really hurt your feelings too much. Like, it's not like I'm the house.
No, but I think that I think you have to ask, yourself, what will the outcome of my comment be? And what do I hope to achieve with this?
Yeah. And
I think I have enough maturity that I can, for the most part, filter a lot of this stuff and understand what their context or where they're coming from.
When I think somebody's being mean, I delete them. I think if somebody's going from a cruel point or just being rude for the sake of being rude, they can take their opinions, which they are entitled to, and go share it on their own page.
Well, it depends if it's an attack. If it's an attack or something, yeah. Forest Dweller says keyboard cowards. And it's not even so much that. I think that some people just have forgotten. I think one big downfall of social media is that people have forgotten to be polite. And I think people forget, that being mindful of somebody else is an important part of society. Caring enough about others, and also not just caring about others, knowing that your opinion sometimes is not going to affect the outcome. And so, how your mom or grandma might say, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. I guess that doesn't necessarily apply. I'm not saying don't provide feedback. Like the person who told us that the doors in the house, well, it's too bad you didn't put glass in. I don't see that as being negative. That was like, that's a really good idea.
Or when people say, I would have done, like, sometimes we can still do that. And we'll
sometimes we can still do that.
We didn't even think of that. Because we all are learning. Like, I've never made a house before.
There was one comment. Somebody said, putting in solar on your house would be an absolute waste of time. You'll never recoup your money back from solar. But that actually isn't true. You recoup your money back on the install in 8 years. The system lasts about 25 to 30. So you save, 18 years or more before you have to put new panels in. And so it does actually make a good lot of sense. You just have to try and work it all out and hope that it does.
Yeah.
But we were kind of going through this the other day, and there's been moments when I've been like, man, you know what? I could probably only do YouTube for another couple of years before this is just too soul draining. But I had to change how I responded to them. Mm-hmm. If I took all those comments and I sat on them and I took them all to heart, it would be very disheartening. And that's why you do see people in social media that will exit social media, and in some cases just become very despondent and depressed, because it's not normal to have 500,000 people in your life or 1 million people in your life, and it's certainly not normal to have 100,000 of those people, let's say, be very, very challenging and upsetting and say mean things. Unless you've reached a point in your life where you can kind of be a little bit like Teflon and let that stuff slide off and go, that's their problem. Those are their issues that they're going through. Somebody who is more empathic about that or takes that on and feels that might have a real hard time being on social media and in this business. But I will say, you don't hear me cuss or swear, and that's because not just because I do that. And I've said it's smart not to do it when you have a YouTube channel, because who wants to advertise their brand with you if you don't represent the characteristics of their brand? Yeah. But I also don't do that in my regular life. It's not that I don't know all the words. It's just that I choose to use different words. If I heard you swear,
I would actually be shocked, I think.
Well, I did have some cartoon-like, hashtags and pound signs and stuff over my head when I dropped that Civil War Colt on my toe. When I broke my toe and Matthew Fox is on, I had a Civil War pistol, and I was like, oh, this is pretty neat. And it went bam and dropped on my foot. Oh, Storage Auction Pirate, thank you so much. They said, I appreciate your humbleness and all you do. I watched quietly for some time now. You recently inspired me to make a big move or change. Time will tell. Much love to you too. You'll have to put in the comments down below, Storage Auction Pirate, what you are doing. I'm guessing it has to do with storage auctions. And I hope that becomes fruitful for you.
And thank you so very much.
So yes, I dropped a Civil War gun on my toe and I broke my toe. And Matthew says I'm the last person to have a Civil War injury. He's joking about it right now. But yeah, those moments I think can call for you, where your brain goes, You can't even put together a sentence, like not even, oh, fiddly-dee. That doesn't even come to mind. You're just like, I'm going to make a noise so that anybody around me knows I'm unhappy with dropping a pistol on my toe.
They said, I can't say yet, but will in time. The storage auction pirate.
Yes. So part of what we do on the channel here is not, I'm not showing you the stuff that I find to be like, oh, hey, come and buy my stuff. Sometimes when it's an auction, I'm like, yeah, I got to get rid of some things.
For sure, that's what we're doing then.
That's what we're doing when it comes down to the auction. But for the most part, I'm trying to tell you what at least I think I know about an item. Like the, 1960s Snoopy, that is a cool little thing. When we talk about stuff, it's to help inspire people to go through their things at home or to try and find little treasures around their place, and maybe you can make a buck off it and make a living of this. The other thing is there's people out there that are watching that are thinking about doing their own YouTube channel. They're maybe thinking about going to business for themselves. Sergeant Reds, for example, that want to open up their own store.
Yeah, they're open now.
They're open, yeah. And we really want to encourage people to try and live their dreams and be fruitful with their dreams, but also provide some cautionary tales. I almost said cautionary tales to them, and give them some advice from what we've learned and from what I've learned being in business for the last 20 years or so. Not my store, this store has been in business for 5 years. We had a store prior, and I've been a manager for large retail stores for many, many years. So taking some of that experience and trying to help provide both inspiration to you guys to do well, but also to live your lives more fully. And if you aren't living like you got a firecracker underneath your butt, not a Christmas cracker, that'd be more disappointing. That's like a tiny firecracker that gives you a prize at the end. And I don't normally recommend taking prizes from under your butt because it's not going to be what you're hoping for.
Oh my gosh.
But if you got to live like there's a firecracker waiting to go off, you got to just get in gear and get out there and do stuff. Somebody says, Melissa, what is the size of the teal bowl you need for your set, Paula?
I think, did we find the other one? Or?
It's white is the one. It's not teal. It's a white one that's missing.
Because it goes teal, white. I think it's, hold on.
It's the smallest size.
I think there's a white one that goes smaller into this one.
That's the one we're missing.
Yeah, the tiniest one of the four.
Yeah. Matthew Fox also says, don't forget about my shed.
Sorry, you guys. I'm leaning against and I keep going so close to the camera.
Matthew, do you have your passport, Matthew? If you do, then we'll have to start building a shed.
Only if he has it. It's an easy.
Next time I'm in New York, Matthew, you got to come out and visit because you missed the last meet. I don't know why you missed the last meetup, but I remember there was a reason why.
Like crazy the last time?
I was, but it would have been hilarious for all. No, I wasn't hiccuping in New York. I was hiccuping when I went to
Ontario.
I went to go visit Adam in London, Ontario.
Oh yeah.
And I went to a Christmas party with him and his friends, which was very nice. But I'm sure I've told this story before, but I'm going to tell you what happens. I had Canada Dry ginger ale, and I don't know if it's this combination that will do it, but if you ever want to practical joke somebody, this might replicate itself. I was descending on the airplane. We're about to land. They're like, please fasten your safety belts, return your seat to the upright positions. And the lady walked by and she said, would you like anything? And I said, yeah, do you have a ginger ale by chance? Because I'm like, my stomach was a little upset. Maybe I'll have a ginger ale. Maybe that'll help out. Because in my brain, my mom, I don't know if it was my mom, sometimes parents give you stuff like, oh, you got an upset stomach, you should try some ginger ale.
I probably gave you the ginger ale.
Anyway. Oh, I don't want to be confusing you with my mom. That'd be wrong.
Well, I mean, somebody that was taking care of you.
Yes, in that sense. But anyway, so I had a ginger ale, and we're descending, and I took a ginger ale, and I got a hiccup. Oh, Jeanette Ricciardi, thank you so much. Thank you for the super chat. So we're landing, I'm drinking some ginger ale, and I get a hiccup, and I'm like, well, that's weird. And so I drank some more and I got another hiccup. Well, I land, I'm hiccuping. I check into the hotel, I'm hiccuping. And it's not like it's once every minute. It's like, like every 3 seconds. It's bad hiccups. That went on for the entire time I was in Ontario. And so I'm going around with Adam. And the only thing that'll stop it is if I drink like a 2-liter thing of water and I let it kind of get trapped in my chest. I tried hanging myself upside down, like by my feet up in the air and doing a headstand. I tried breathing in and out. I tried drinking water from the other side of the cup. When you do this one, you're supposed to drink from that side somehow. I tried doing everything. And when the whole time I had the hiccups. And for some of you met me and I was in London. They're like, oh, hey, Alex, we're doing a meetup. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. This is awful. I was in so much pain. I've never thought that hiccups could kill a person. But by the 4th day, I was feeling like I was going to die from hiccups, to the point where after the Christmas party with Adam, and this is the funny thing too, because I go to the Christmas party and they're like, we've got a guitar. We'd love to hear you sing. And I'm like, guys, that's not happening tonight. And they're like, oh.
He's still nervous every single time that he gets the hiccups. He's like, oh no.
It better not happen again. But the worst thing is that when people are like, oh, that's my water. Have you been drinking my water?
I don't know. Is there lipstick on your cup?
I don't know.
There's lipstick on my cup.
Well, it's too late for your girl cooties now. We're past that, I
Tish
guess.
said, because of you guys, I'm retiring next April. I'm focusing on my art. Tish from the boat.
Oh, Tish. Tish.
From the boat.
From the boat. Tish, our coastal friend Tish, who took us around. You know what? That was one of the nicest things. I guess I'm going to end my story about... end the story about hiccups. Anyway, they eventually went away after about a week, but I actually went to go to the emergency room to be like, is there something like... I was, you know when you have a problem and you Google it and then they come up with like, you have a spastic diaphragm. I'm like, oh no, that sounds awful. I thought I was going to have to get some kind of shot for that. The only thing that eased off on my hiccups was I had a whole pile of Tums, because I was like acid reflux like crazy. And I drank a ton of water and eventually they went away. But I really have avoided soda from that point on. I really don't drink a lot of carbonated stuff after that.
Susie Q said, get someone to feed you water. Take a deep breath. Stick your fingers in both ears. Works every time, as long as you don't breathe through your nose. You guys, the cures for hiccups are the funniest things ever.
Yeah.
Next time you get hiccups, though, you better believe that. Better stay in my mind.
Yes, I was hiccuping in my sleep, which means I didn't really sleep. It did not stop when I slept.
You didn't just hiccup. It was like...
My whole body was like, oh yeah. And after a while, it was like a...
And he couldn't even get a breath. Like, he couldn't breathe anymore.
I was hiccuping so much, I wasn't able to breathe. It was the weirdest thing. I don't know what...
That was bad. That was bad. They said it was some kind of spasm, remember? Like the...
Yeah, I tried all the things. Everybody's giving me their advice. I tried everything.
How long?
A week. It was like a week. It was terrible pain.
They said longest hiccup was like 43 years or something.
No thanks.
43
After a while, I wonder if you build up like callus on those muscles that cause you to hiccup. Like after a while, you just be like, same old thing. Yeah, no, so that was awful. Anyway, I need to do a visit back to New York and I need to do a visit back to London again at some point because I got to do a do-over where I'm not hiccuping the whole time. All of Adam's family and friends were like, what's with this guy? Just hiccuping the whole time. And I couldn't even eat anything. They were offering me all these snacks and food, and I was like, no, thank you. They probably thought I was just being demure.
They're like, don't breathe his air. Something's up with him.
Yeah. Leia's mama says, thanks for making us laugh, Alex. I always love and enjoy your videos. Thank you so much.
Laura said, is it GERD? And you just learned what GERD was yesterday.
I did. No. I also learned that, did you know that ants share their vomit with each other?
Like...
They regurgitate stuff and they share it. It looks like they're kissing. But that's how they have the society where they just share everything.
That's gross. Like, at what point did you look that up and see that?
It was on. I like listening to talk radio and I learn things. Like ants share each other's...
gardening stuff and cooking. You look up ant spit.
They're like, ants just share everything.
Random act fact.
It's borderline. I don't... yeah. Ants they've got a queen. And she gets, oh no, this queen gets royal jelly if it's a honeybee. But what does queen ant just gets all the good stuff? They just take all the food back to her. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Somebody said, I thought you said cats. Wolves do that.
Ant facts.
Today with Alexander.
Yeah. Yes. Why on earth am why on earth am I talking about ants barfing? How did this happen? I'm going to transition now and talk to the East Coast. I'm going to talk to our friends in the East Coast. Tish, if you are still with us and have not logged off about the ant vomit part of the conversation, this is the worst. Linda of Iowa, I see you're on. I have to say, I'm like a squirrel. And she joined us. Yes. I'm like squirrel. This is me on any given day. Just I am a big man child doing things. Instead of Elf on a Shelf, we have Van Gogh on an iPad.
Oh yeah, it is that. I was going to say, like when Steven's filming, what I see on his phone and then what we see are two different things, but it's the same.
So, Tish, we had a lovely time on the coast, and she took us out on her boat, And she's just a lovely person. You know, probably one of my best experiences going out there was walking through the old jail that they had. The boat was docked at what was a former prison camp. When America invaded Canada, was that the War of 1812? Somebody correct me. I think it was the War of 1812, where the Loyalists had gone to Canada. They're like, no, we're okay with the king on our coins. We're going to go to Canada. And they all went up there. And then the Americans were like, well, no, we're going to follow you and we're going to take over this Canada you're talking about. War of 1812. Thank you. And thank you, Mary, for the super chat, too.
Might be Mari.
Or Mari. Sad story. There was an island there, and there was many soldiers that were former American soldiers that had perished in that battle that they buried in Nova Scotia. And where the boat was docked, they had turned it into a boathouse, but it was a former prison from that time, from the late 1700s or early 1800s. And things are just so old on the east coast of Canada and North America, really, that that prison was still, it was like, you want to rent a place to keep your oars and your boat parts, and they give you a jail cell key, and it's actually, you get a jail cell to keep your stuff in with the bars on the windows and the whole thing. And so we got to tour that. If you go back through and you look at my old videos, you'll see the one where we went to the East Coast, that's in there. But it was so fascinating just to see, and you could see people had scribed their names in the 1800s into the bricks, and you could see where they were. And I love experiencing history, and although that was a terrible thing in a bad part of history and stuff, it was really interesting to experience it and be in it. And it's just so casual that is still in existence and still being used. That building is still there. And the walls, when you drive through, the old prison walls that were there were brick walls, and their protection on the top, it wasn't that they built a taller wall and they didn't have barbed wire. What they had done is they actually took bottles, they took glass, and they smashed them and they put it into mortar all along the top. So if you went to go climb over top of the wall, you'd be met with a whole bunch of broken glass on the top. So I guess that's what they did in the old days. It was an interesting part of history, but thanks to Tish, I got to experience a bit of history and a bit of the coast we would not have normally had to experience.
She said, I'm sorry that you lost your glasses, though.
Yeah, we stopped somewhere, and I'm like, man, look at that. I bet you can just drop anything down there. And I had my sunglasses on my head, and they went bloop. And I was, no.
You leaned back. And
did I lean back?
And then, so I can't remember what happened first.
Well, I saw them sinking
your
to the
hat
bottom.
And the glasses or something? Like
hat flew off. I learned that boats are... everything is temporary on a boat.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. That was... I mean, yeah.
Yes.
He found glass. He did find a replacement pair.
I did. After that day or the next day, we went to an antique store, and they happened to have the exact same pair of sunglasses that I dropped in the ocean earlier.
Face, though, man.
And I said, I wonder how much stuff is down there. And she's like, yeah, there's a lot of sharks down there, so you might not want to go fishing for those.
Oh, yeah. One of the boys lost their hat.
Yeah.
The best, though, the kids all had their feet hanging off of the side, and it's just fine. Everything's good. And then I can't remember who was on the boat, and they're like, aren't you nervous about the sharks? And I thought they were kidding, but they were not. So everybody just tucked their feet back up.
We are but humble prairie folk. Landlocked prairie folk.
Let's fill the water. Let's put our toes in.
Our large bodies of water are lakes here that have fishes. And if one comes up to you, you can catch it and eat it. The little fishies. You're like, oh, look, there's a fish. And dinner at the same time. We don't have to worry about things that want to eat us. We're usually the top of the food chain around here, but it's a little different in the ocean.
Tish, I need you to email me after... archboldvlogs@outlook.com and send me your address again, because I keep on looking for like old papers and everything, and every time I see it I think of you, and then I'm not sure where I put your address.
Beat6 says, Mom says, thanks for the Wesleyan hymnal book. It's my pleasure. That was a while ago. It's always nice to have people on who have been on with us for a while, because then they have stories that they share with us too.
Sorry, they were talking about the tricks for getting rid of hiccups. That is what killed them.
If we come back out that way again, Tish, we'd love to take you and your husband for dinner at some point too. It was just, we didn't have a chance to really visit that much, but if you have an opportunity, we'd love to take you guys out. That was just a very special day that you gave our whole family, and we would definitely appreciate it. In fact, so many lovely folks out on the East Coast. We really like it out there. And I think next vacation, we'll probably be back out to the coast, I think.
Yeah, that's it. We're doing the countdown of as soon as we're able to kind of get out of our own province, that's where we're headed.
Yeah, it's just beautiful. And I think there's things that we haven't seen. We didn't go to New Brunswick.
Yeah, well, we kind of dipped our foot in it, but I mean, that doesn't count.
We went along, we bordered the edge of New Brunswick.
Yeah.
But we would, I think we'd like to go and see some other things that we haven't seen. There was parts of that province that had really wonderful historic sites and things. I wouldn't mind going back to Oak Island too. It'd be great to just like trick them and bring a bunch of old like pirate treasure, like old, gold coins and stuff, and just kick my foot in the dirt and be like, hey, look at this. It was right here in the parking lot this whole time. They'd be like, what?
Alexandria asked if I was going to be making any more cooking videos. I will be doing a cooking video right away with using some family old recipes. I found a whole bunch of recipes that my dad's mom had, and I am doing a collaboration with Anna Louise again. They sent me some jewelry, so I want to cook and put that in there. Good timing. That should be this week.
Janice says, but you already found a silver bar. That is true. I was watching Oak Island, and I really hope those guys find something. I mean, if you've not watched the Oak Island show, there's very few TV shows that I actually enjoy watching. That is one of them. We're watching what? This Is Us, we watch.
That's like the most depressing show in the world, but we can't stop watching it.
Yeah, we're watching old reruns of Seinfeld because they're silly, and I've been watching Oak Island whenever we go to visit my mom's place.
Yeah.
We don't have regular cable, and so I go and I watch an episode of Oak Island. But when we were watching it, I felt really bad for them because they've got a giant crew. They've had to buy all this land. First, they had to buy the land, the property, just for the intention of digging a hole. And then they dig a lot of holes and pay a lot of money, and that stuff isn't cheap. And they're like, oh, look, it's a silver-plated button. Oh, it's a Bobby Dazzler. And I love that guy, by the way, the metal detector guy. He's awesome. And he's like, that's top pocket find. And he puts it in there. And
I almost said the characters. That's like our characters.
It's just real people.
Yeah, but they're super nice. Like, I like that part. I'm not a big fan of the show, but I like the people.
Yes. And if you're just tuning in now, if you're just joining us now, you got to go back and rewatch it because we did the unboxing video about 5 or 6 minutes in. Gary Fixler, I think is his name. Yes, love that show. But I felt bad because they're investing probably like $500,000 to dig a hole, and they pull like, oh, it's another piece of wood or something and a button. And I'm just going through a house above ground and finding bags of silver and gold and stuff. And I'm like, man, I feel almost bad. I'm sure they would love to have found that type of stuff. But really, if that ends up being the only adventure I get in my whole life, at least I can say I had an adventure like that. I will never forget what it felt like to be one of the Goonies on a Goonie adventure, or to be, like the guys in Oak Island looking for treasure. I had my treasure hunt. It'd be nice to have that happen again at some point, but you can't expect it to happen. That's why I'm always happy when unexpected things like that happen. But I'm grateful that I had that opportunity, and grateful that it worked out so well for Vince, who owned the house, is when we found it just worked out good for everybody.
Yeah. Dave said Yellowstone is a good show too. Somebody else said Heartland. It's funny because as soon as you're done a show and you're like, now what? And then you just don't want to get a stinker because you don't have very much time in the first place.
Wish you would put some of those old recipes into a cookbook, and I bet you'd sell them, like all our family recipes.
It's not such a bad idea. But I am a procrastinator. I might plan this for years.
But I don't think I don't feel like we would have the right to sell our grandparents' recipes and stuff.
Right.
Like, that's family stuff.
Well, except for maybe we could do a cookbook where somebody did say for my channel that if people would submit recipes that they wanted to see, then I would do a draw, and we would figure out whose recipe I would do for the very first filmed meal on YouTube on my channel. And I think that's a good idea. I have 2 so far.
You know what I should do though? I should make my family recipe for chili, because it's sort of a sweet chili.
Yeah.
I should do a cooking episode because I like to cook.
I think I've shown it before online.
Melissa prefers to cook. And I get when people are like, how dare you call it Melissa's kitchen? I'm like, I know my place around here. And she lets me know.
But that's their thing. They wouldn't want to be.
But I do enjoy cooking.
I'm more than happy to have it as my kitchen.
Yeah. Somebody said maybe do a Curiosity Inc. viewer submitted cookbook.
Yeah.
Hey, that'd be great.
I think, that's where I was going with it.
Actually, maybe what we could do for Melissa's channel, because Melissa also has a YouTube channel, and if you haven't subscribed, you need to go to Melissa Archbold. It's really easy. It's just her name on YouTube. Yeah. Look up Melissa Archbold and go to her YouTube channel and subscribe. And maybe if you send her the recipes, archboldvlogs@outlook.com, if you email Melissa one of your family recipes, maybe Melissa will make some of these recipes on the channel.
Yeah, I try to do them. There's a lot, like Ron sent me a recipe, I believe it was Ron, with lettuce, and it had cottage cheese, and it sounded bizarre for me. Oh, so delicious.
And thank you for the super chat, Jeannie or Jean Simpson. Thank you so much. How do you spell her last name? Oddly, it's spelled very much like my last name.
Oh,
that'd be awkward.
I'll just put a whole bunch of hearts.
Melissa's gonna put it up there, then you can see.
And mine isn't very professional, of course, because I didn't even do my banner or anything. I'm like, we're lucky if I get some videos going.
People often
Matthew put it up. He's like, I'm way ahead of you, Alex. Oh yeah, I see it up there. Matthew put it up.
Yep. Our last name.
Yeah, no seafood. I'm so sorry. If you love seafood, it's never gonna happen for me. Never gonna. I'm so sorry.
I like seafood, but
no,
she doesn't.
I'm not gonna. I'd have to cook it and smell it and look at it.
Oh yeah, you did the chocolate gravy. Some people said they tried it.
Yeah, that was and anything that looks unusual that needs to be tried, I'm taking you guys along for the ride for sure.
There's no I in my last name. Somebody said there's no I in Archbold, and that's correct. And I think it's because mainly my family were, thrifty, frugal farmers, and they're probably paying by the font. For goodness sakes, that extra I is going to cost me money. Let's not do that. So they're paying by the letter. They're like, how much is a vowel compared to a consonant? We don't need an I in there. So it's just Archbold, and it's a very easy name to spell because everybody knows like an arch of a building, and people have heard of bold before. But when you put them together, people are like Archibald. And you're like, no, it's Archbold. They can never get it right.
A lot of times people seriously have said to me, oh, you missed the I and the A. I'm like, thank you so much. No, what?
Yeah, I don't need that.
Oh.
Did you say Archibald? They're like, what? No. Archbold. And they're like, Archvolt. I'm like, okay. I'm going to have to spell this out. And I do every time. Nobody ever gets it right.
Arch means slyly witty.
And there is a town in Ohio called Archbold, Ohio. Some distant relative. Fun fact, if you look up Standard Oil, the history of Standard Oil, John D. Rockefeller had Standard Oil. You might have heard of the Rockefellers. But what you might not know is the guy that ran Standard Oil for the Rockefellers was a guy named Dustin Archbold. My name is Alexander Dustin Archbold. And so I don't know that I'm named directly after him, but there's definitely some. My dad actually told me my middle name was Dustin because he thought I'd end up being a cowboy. But that didn't happen. In fact, I'm super allergic to horses, so livestock and me are not friends. Anyway, lots of fun history there. And my family did originate in Newcastle upon Tyne, Northumberland area, and emigrated to the United States in the early 1800s. And made their way up to Canada around 1900 or so. Oh, it's been a while. But my grandfather definitely sounded American. There's a difference in our accents, but my grandfather sounded American because his dad was from the United States, so was his mom. And anyway, we go back far enough.
Cowboy of antiques.
Cowboy of antiques, yeah. But guys, it has been over an hour now. I really enjoyed the fact that you guys stayed on so long. Much appreciated. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. If you missed the live feed of me unboxing the box from Allison, thank you again for sending that. Go back and rewatch it. It's about 5 or 10 minutes in. But thank you for today's episode and joining us, guys. Wish you all nothing but the best, and we'll see you all very soon. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.